Welcome back to Create Your Health. On today's segment, we're going to be sitting down with hypnotherapist Brennan Smith, and we're going to get some hypno juju, those crazy people. So Brennan,
Yes.
You're a hypnotherapist, right? Well, people are familiar with hypnosis, right?
Are they?
mean, well, generally, yeah, you know, they have the
What they
idea that
think
the
it is.
movie, right,
Exactly.
exactly. So they have an idea or a vague notion of what hypnosis is, but you're a hypnotherapist. So what does that mean?
Hypnotherapy is nothing more than accessing a part of the brain that normally you can't have access to just by thinking your way into it. And we help people get what they want as a result. So if there's something somebody really wants, can't seem to get it no matter how hard they try, it's because they're not using the right part of the brain.
If you want to change something in your life, say stop smoking, for example, hypnotherapy makes you stop smoking?
Motivation, belief systems, self-concept, all of these things, psychology agrees, comes from a part of the brain that you don't control. We only control this section up here. But all of our beliefs and our motivations and our movements and our health are stimulated from the whole rest of the brain. And therefore, if you think about something, you may make some progress. But if you really tap in and implant and integrate that belief more deeply in the mind, then you get it coming naturally out of your behavior.
So this is the conscious and this is the subconscious, right? How do you link those two things together?
Hypnosis is a natural state. If this is fully awake and this is fully asleep, every night when you lay down, your brain goes into what they call the thinking stage, the fantasy stage, and then eventually your thoughts become so symbolic, you drift off, right?
Right.
Hypnosis is identical to the level of brainwave activity from the fantasy stage all the way down right before unconscious sleep. So you've been in this state of brainwave activity thousands, hundreds of thousands of times, depending on how many days you've been alive. During that time, it just so happens that the brainwave activity moves from here into those areas that we were saying are more important.
How do you use the subconscious mind to get the desired outcome?
The subconscious mind is the master multitasker. Therefore, if we can give it some things to do that don't use this part of the brain. For example, if I asked you to create a picture in your mind of a bicycle right now, this is not the part of your brain that does it. You have to go to your visual cortex in the back, and you have to use all of what bicycle means to you to generate that image, and it might even come with a feeling. That is tapping into the subconscious.
It totally did,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You can feel it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard people refer to like a trance or a hypnotic state. What is that?
For what we do, which is much more like a guided meditation, if you will, trance, hypnosis, guided meditation, very similar. We only need 4 things. The first is that your physical body be relaxed. That's why we all have chairs like this.
Yeah, it was a great chair.
Yeah. You could relax every single muscle in your body right now, and you wouldn't fall out of the chair. This chair has you. It's supporting you, right?
Awesome.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is your eyes closed for a deeper trance. You can do a lighter trance with your eyes open. Number 3 is that your breathing be deep and rhythmic. And number 4 is that we think those kinds of thoughts that I was asking you to think a moment ago by visualizing and things like that, that don't use this part of the brain. The kinds of thoughts and concepts about yourself that force you to bring up deeper held beliefs so that we activate the rest of the brain. You get those 4 things together, you got a trance.
And when does the therapy actually start?
The therapy is from the very beginning on, because I need to know what you want, what your language is for what you want, how you feel about what you want, anything you've ever accomplished that's similar to what you want, so that we can use that as a belief you already know to be true and attach the new one to it, so to speak.
Okay.
And so when a person's in hypnosis, then that's what I'm doing. I'm using their language to reinforce to them their own ideas at a time when their brain is able to receive it at this level, using pictures, using emotions, using suggestions.
So give me an example. What is an example of a hypnotic suggestion?
Everyone, Peter, is worthy. Everyone, which means you can be comfortably free to be worthy to accomplish your project in the right time frame for you now. First of all,
I feel great. I am worthy.
I told you you're worthy in there, right?
Uh-huh.
You heard that, of course. I told you that the right timeline for your project is now.
Right.
I told you how great you're going to feel, and I told you that it's okay to just go ahead and do it. But the sentence just sounded like I was talking about how everybody's worthy, so surely you are.
Right. So why wouldn't you be?
Yeah. So I'm just going to have you look between my fingertips, back and forth, just right about that pace there. Just like that. And as you continue to do that, your real attention will be drawn to your breathing. Notice that the breathing grows deeper just by drawing your attention to it like that. And now just deeper into your own awareness. Every blink, the eye's getting tired again. As you continue to focus on your breathing, tick-tocking with the eyes, letting yourself be more and more comfortable. And at some point, with every blink getting heavier and every breath getting deeper, at some point you'll just notice a tendency for a desire to escape inside. And at that time, you can just allow your eyes to go ahead and close and notice your ability to be very comfortable in that state that we refer to as deep sleep. I know you're not asleep in the traditional sense, but we also know that when the body is this relaxed and the mind is this aware, you can be powerfully receptive to some positive ideas that you're choosing to create the life you want. That's success right there. That smile. And I wonder, what might that be like if it was motivation you were breathing in instead of oxygen? How would that feel? Exhaling tension, frustration, limitations from the past. The physical body just relaxes totally, completely, with every number more deeply comfortable. We always use the count from 0 to 5 because it fully integrates your deeply understanding the benefits you're receiving by accepting these changes you're choosing to create in your life. And we connect deeply to those insights from 5 down to 4, 3, 2, 1. And 0 is always just deep sleep. Allow the picture of the smiles on the faces of every one of these crew members to enter your mind when they're patting each other on the back, congratulating each other, smiling about the fact that they were part of something that brought a message, a needed message that was part of an ongoing revealing of good ideas to the world at a time when it was really ready for change. Good. So we're going to use the count from 0 back up to 5. Coming on up to 1 now, reconnecting the mind and the body with the deep cleansing breath. That's right, up to 2 more, aware of the chair beneath you, the room around you. Up to 3, that feeling of well-being, refreshment, revitalization, cleansing, strengthening at 4, that euphoria feeling. And 5 is eyes open and wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, refreshed, alert,
that was
cleansed,
great.
renewed. Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I floated away there for a bit.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to conquer the world.
I'm glad you liked it.
Thanks, Brennan.
My pleasure. It's a really positive message, so you should feel really positively about it.